Good evening, viewers, and welcome to today's news bulletin. Here are the headlines of the day. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reaches Abu Dhabi on official visit to UAE, assures India's full support for UAE's COP28 presidency during talks with UN Climate Conference President-designate Sultan Al Jaber. Meghalaya government constitutes State Education Commission four-member panel to be led by Professor S.M. Sungo of the Department of Education. Nehu announces Education Minister Rakam A. Sangma. UDP submits suggestions on state reservation policy and roster system to chairperson of the Committee of Political Parties on Reservation Roster, Ampreen Lingdor. And Education Minister Rakam A. Sangma calls upon teaching community to upgrade themselves with new methods of teaching. Prime Minister Narendra Modi assured India's full support for UAE's COP28 presidency as he held productive talks with the UN Climate Conference President-designate Sultan Al Jaber at Abu Dhabi on Saturday. Modi arrived at Abu Dhabi, the capital of the UAE, following his successful two-day visit to Paris. Early upon his arrival, Modi was received by Crown Prince Khalid bin Mohammed Al Nahyan along with other senior officials of the UAE. He was accorded a guard of honor. Additionally, Prime Minister Modi is scheduled to have a one-on-one discussion with the UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan and other senior officials. The state government on Friday constituted the State Education Commission, which will be headed by Professor S.M. Sungo of the Department of Education, Nehu. The commission has two advisors. They are former UPSC Chairman Professor David Reeds Aimley and former executive member of EMPOS T.C. Marak. Ambrose Marak, the Secretary of Education Department, is its member secretary. The commission, with a term of 2 years, has been assigned various responsibilities. Education Minister Rakam A. Sangma on Friday announced the constitution of the commission. The SEC will also be assisted by 12 co-opted members, Sangma told reporters after chairing a review meeting of the Education Department. On the terms of reference, the minister said that the commission would advise the government of Meghalaya on matters related to the school and college system, salary and school and college structures, school management functioning and accountability.
The government of Meghalaya, the cabinet has already decided to set up the Meghalaya Education Commission in 2022, having 4 members to look after all these issues and to study, to assess and to advise the government with certain recommendation and a certain suggestion to ensure fair parity with regards to the salaries of teachers under different aided categories with respect to the government teacher, and to look into the management of aided schools and the colleges, their performance concerning general administrative functioning, operation and accountability of a school management committee.
The United Democratic Party submitted 8 suggestions to the Committee on Reservation Policy and Roster System on Friday. The party met the chairperson of the Committee on Reservation Policy and Roster System, Ampreen Lingdor, to present the observations made by the party on the reservation policy and the roster system. The General Secretary of the party, Gemino Mauthor, did not disclose the suggestions but maintained that the party has recommended changes in the policy.
There are 8 observations because many things are connected also. It is not only you talk about the proportion, about how much percentage and all that, but there are other things which are related to the reservation policy and the roster system. So we have given our points for consideration and we leave it to the wisdom of the expert committee. And as mentioned earlier, that the points that we have raised on our part, this will be taken up at the level of the expert committee, and then maybe we will have a one-to-one talk with them also, and we will deliberate further on this, and whether our observations is justified or not.
Education Minister Rakam A. Sangma has called upon the teaching community to upgrade themselves with new methods of teaching besides acquainting themselves with new teaching techniques. Addressing the annual day function of Laban Asmi's Girls Higher Secondary School on Friday as the chief guest, the minister said that teaching method had seen a drastic change in the last few years. He called upon the teaching community to adopt them with today's changing scenario, stating that practice makes one perfect. He urged students to study hard to attain success in life. The advisor to the Education Department, H.M. Shankliang, also addressed the gathering. Earlier, the principal of the school, Dipali Sharma Rao, delivered the welcome address. The students of the school presented several cultural items.
The teachings, technique, the ideas might have been different from the past as well today. There's a lot of challenges. There's lots of challenges in teaching and upgradation of our knowledge. You will face the challenge of computer science and technology. Look from the behind as a failure. If you fail, the failure students will look, understand more, looks at the more beauty of the success.
Heavy rainfall on Friday morning triggered a flash flood on the National Highway 37 near Jorabad, creating a chaotic situation for commuters travelling between Shillong and Guwahati. Light vehicles were seen partially submerged under the rising water, resulting in massive traffic congestion. The torrential downpour led to the overflowing of drainage, inundating the highway with an unexpected surge of water. The impact of the flooding extended to St. Jude Secondary School in Umper village, where water entered the ground floor of the building. A two-day acting workshop organized by Women's College of Shillong and Education India Institution got underway yesterday at the auditorium of Women's College. Participating in it as a resource person, Bollywood actor and well-known theatre personality Abhijit Lahori told the students about the importance of theatre. He highlighted various aspects of acting and theatre before the participants. And now for the weather report. The maximum temperature recorded was 26.8 degrees Celsius and the minimum temperature was 18.7 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity in the morning was 67% and continued to be the same in the evening. The recorded rainfall was 0.8 millimeters. And the forecast says light to moderate rain is very likely to occur at few places. And before we wind up, here's the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reaches Abu Dhabi on official visit to UAE, assures India's full support for UAE's COP28 presidency during talks with UN Climate Conference President-designate Sultan Al Jaber. Meghalaya government constitutes State Education Commission 4-member panel to be led by Professor S.M. Sungo of the Department of Education, NEHU, announces Education Minister Rakam A. Sangma. UDP submits suggestions on state reservation policy and roster system to chairperson of the Committee of Political Parties on Reservation Roster, Amrin Lingdor. And Education Minister Rakam A. Sangma calls upon teaching community to upgrade themselves with new methods of teaching. And with that, viewers, we've come to the end of today's edition of the News Bulletin. Do join us back tomorrow at the same time. Good night.